Camera enthusiasts know that a full-frame sensor usually gives you the best image quality and low light performance, but those bigger image sensors usually cost a little bit more. The Canon EOS 6D is designed to deliver full-frame performance at an enthusiast price point. So let's see how it stacks up. Hi guys, Larry Becker here. Let me show you a camera I really like. It's the Canon EOS 6D, and the reason I like it so much is that it's a full-frame camera that's designed for the enthusiast. Because this is the least expensive full-frame camera in Canon's current lineup, many people think it's targeted exclusively at enthusiasts and not at pros. But the performance and features make this an easy choice for pros who are looking for a second body to go along with their top-of-the-line first body. Let's talk for a minute about the form factor of this camera. I really like the feel and the weight of this body. The buttons and dials all have that quality Canon feel to them, and the grip is just great. It's a magnesium alloy chassis with some plastic, but it's definitely sturdy and it doesn't feel cheap or lightweight at all. You can reach most of the controls you'll be using with your right hand, and the set dial is an easy reach and it has a nice feel to it as well. Though I really do like the thumb joystick on the 5D Mark III, and the 6D doesn't have one. I like the mode dial with the center lock button, and in addition to the pro shooting modes like program, shutter priority, aperture priority, and manual modes, there are two user-definable positions so that you can store the settings that you use the most, as well as full automatic mode, a creative auto mode, and a scene mode. There's nothing really new with these mode dial positions, but if you're new to the Canon DSLR family, you'll want to know that the scene mode is where you tell the camera what kind of environment you're shooting, and it adjusts all your settings for you. And the creative auto mode is for novices who are trying to capture certain looks, but who aren't really familiar with all the necessary settings to capture a particular look. For example, Creative Auto lets you blur the background or make it sharp by simply moving a slider. No aperture and shutter speed adjustments are necessary at all. The 6D I'm using is part of a kit that came with a 24 to 105mm f4 image stabilized lens. Now, in the past I've been a little bit of a kit lens snob. What I mean is I don't always love kit lenses, and I often buy a body separately and then I pick up a good quality lens after the fact. In this case, however, I love this lens. I used it for a portrait shoot I had recently, and the results were really impressive. The combination of this nice lens and impressive camera allowed me to focus quickly and capture tack-sharp images. The skin tones were really nice, and the fine detail was exactly what I would hope for. I was even able to nail a nice portrait quality shallow depth of field at f4. I think the combination of the good glass plus the image stabilization of this lens and the great image quality that you get from the 6D sensor will make everybody happy with the images that they're able to capture from this kit. Honestly, the image quality of the 6D is on par with the best DSLRs on the market today. So it's only those little luxury features like the joystick thumb control, a slightly more weather-sealed body, the advanced focusing system, or high-speed performance features that would differentiate this camera from true top-of-the-line bodies. The sensor on board this camera is a 20.2 megapixel CMOS sensor, and it uses a Digic 5 Plus processor. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that it has impressive low light performance, and it really does. The extended ISO range is from 50 up to 102,400, while the native ISO range is from 100 to 25,600. But as with all other cameras, the extreme high end will always look pretty noisy. The good news is that this camera delivers very good low noise up to ISO 6400, and you'll even get usable images at 12,800. If you just read the spec sheet, this camera may not appear to be a power performer when it comes to autofocus, but it's better than you might think. It's got 11 autofocus points, and only the center point is a cross-type sensor. Still, I was really pleased by how quickly and accurately this camera captured focus, even in lower light. I think if you're used to anything short of a 5D Mark III, a 1DX, or a D4, you'll be impressed with it too. The burst rate for shooting full-frame images is a respectable 4.5 frames per second. But this is one of those features that will have pro sports shooters looking at more expensive bodies. When you look at a camera like this, various features point to the fact that the camera is designed for pros, amateurs, or a mix of the two. The 6D is definitely a mix, but it's a curious mix. For example, I mentioned that there are shooting modes for novices, but there's no pop-up flash. I think of cameras that can only capture 3 images in a bracketed set as leaning toward a consumer camera, and the 6D is limited to a set of 3 per bracketed set. But surprisingly, the 6D allows up to 9 shots in multiple exposure mode, and I would generally think of something like that as being a pro or an advanced enthusiast feature. One consumer feature Canon is bringing to the Rebel line that I'd love to see on a full-frame camera is touchscreen control. The 6D's screen is both fixed and it's not a touchscreen, but it's still a very good screen. It's a 3-inch LCD with over 1 million dots of resolution. The camera uses SD cards, but I was surprised that it only has a single card slot. The video performance is up there with other Canon full-frame DSLRs, capturing 1080p HD video at up to 30 frames a second. It has a jack for an external mic, but it doesn't have a headphone jack for monitoring while filming. And while you can adjust most settings while shooting, audio levels isn't one of them. One of the real wow features of the 6D is the built-in Wi-Fi. It has half a dozen different capabilities, and it does so much that there's even a separate digital manual that comes with the camera. While I'm not really likely to use this feature set a whole lot myself, it might be interesting to some shooters who want to transfer images to another camera or print directly to a Wi-Fi capable printer or even share images straight from the camera to the web. What I love the most about Wi-Fi connectivity is it connects to a free smartphone app that lets you control the camera remotely and shoot from your own phone. And keep in mind, the camera itself can be your Wi-Fi access point, so you can be miles from a Wi-Fi network and still control the camera remotely. The one thing it doesn't seem to do is transfer full-size raw images to your computer via Wi-Fi. In fact, you can't even do it when you're transferring images from one camera to another camera. But if you think about it, that would take an awful lot of bandwidth. Another one of those wow features is the inclusion of GPS. It's becoming popular to geotag images, and having this already built in is a nice touch. If I was just starting out with DSLR photography and I was only able to buy one kit, this would be at the top of my wish list. The variety of shooting scenarios you can cover and come home with impressive images is about as great with this camera and lens as with anything else out there. You'll get great landscapes, portraits, family gatherings, wildlife, event photography, to name a few. The 6D is all about pro-quality images from a camera loaded with enthusiast features. For B&H and Kelby Training, I'm Larry Becker. Thanks for watching.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.
Scott Kelby here, and welcome to this quick tour of our online training. We have hundreds of online classes for you, covering everything from lighting to landscape photography. From portrait photography to sports, we have classes on wedding, automotive photography, shooting, food, fashion, travel, you name it. The most incredible part of this is the price. You get all of this for just $199 a year, or you can pay monthly for just $24.95. 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week access from anywhere in the world. I invite you to join with us today and start learning right now.